morning and welcome to Coffee with the Pastors, the June edition. So good to be with all of you, and we invite you to grab your cup of coffee. Pastor Kevin's already had a sip. I've got my coffee mug here, and we are together with you to share some things that have been going on in the church and in our lives. And I have to tell you that one of the exciting things is that we are doing all of this from our offices in the church. So we're all here, and I get excited about what's the coffee cup that I'm going to pick for Coffee with the Pastors. And I have two of them to choose from in my office, and I think that really kind of symbolizes this Coffee with the Pastors. So the one that I chose was a cup of gratitude, and I thought, oh, I like that. But the other one that I have says ufta, and I think equally I could have used this one, this very large ufta coffee mug, as we gather together, because there's just a lot happening, and so much of it feels like we're kind of getting back to some things that were pre-pandemic that are folding into the life of the church again. So that is fun for us. I mean, we've got the Trinity trippers are going to be taking a trip to Lime Creek. They're not going very far, but they're doing it on the end of June. And we've got the men's Bible study moving back to Pisen more, and the women's Bible study happening on Wednesdays. The summer luncheon for seniors is going to morph into a brunch and coffee in the morning in August, and even going internationally, I'm going to be launching a trip to Greece and Turkey. And so it feels like, at least in my world, there are a number of things that we've been having on hold for a long time, and taking each month, each week, a step forward in seeing what we can do and how we can do it either the same or how we can do it in new ways. So that's a quick intro into things that are happening here with me, but I'm not the only one that's got a lot of things going on here. Pastor Kevin, what's happening in your world with programming?
In my programming world, we're actually really excited this week. Tomorrow and Thursday, the Riverside counselors are going to be here for 2 days of day camp. And I think we mentioned before that normally we have 4 days, but because of the pandemic, it was really hard to get a full staff for the camps this year. But Riverside did not want to just drop day camps and leave us out on our own. So they're coming in for 2 days. We've extended the days a little bit longer, but vacation Bible school for our preschoolers is happening Wednesday and Thursday, as well as the day camp. The counselors always come with so much energy. We get middle schoolers and high schoolers to be assistant counselors to help the kids in elementary school. It's a amazing, kind of fantastic, high energy kind of a couple days. So we're real excited for it. And then we've actually also had the habit of inviting the counselors to meet with our middle schoolers one evening during the week, and our high schoolers one evening. And so Wednesday evening at 7 in the courtyard here at the church, middle schoolers, 7th and 8th graders are welcome to come in, and we're going to have some snacks, and we'll do some games and activities and some singing, and we'll actually have a campfire with us, or in the courtyard, I guess. And then on Thursday, the Detmers are hosting at their house for the high schoolers, and we sent out information on the emails to those households. If they have questions, give us a call and we'll give you the new details on that. But just very excited to kind of get back to some normal kind of summer activities for the kids and have them back in the church and experiencing that, because we did miss it last year. We had a great change on the spur of the moment, the day camp in a bag, but wow, is it just nicer to have the Riverside counselors here, and all that energy. So we're really thankful for the people who are hosting them, and for the people who are leading the Vacation Bible School, which are volunteers from Trinity. So yeah, it's going to be a great week. Lots of stuff happening this week.
And it's so fun. I mean, just, yeah, like you say, the energy that they bring, the energy that the kids have, you can feel it in the room when they're singing and jumping and getting excited. So that'll be great.
Yeah, and that's one of the early camp exposures for those kids. You know, if they haven't been to Riverside Camp or Bible camp before, that's a great place. They get to meet, and frequently that's the launching pad that gets them to try camp for a half a week or a whole week down at Riverside. So, and we've got kids going this summer. I'm thrilled that we've got kids that are excited about going down for a week at camp. But they missed it last year and they were devastated. But they're going back. So real happy about that, and thankful that Riverside is up and going and getting back to kind of where they were. So yeah.
Great.
I think the other thing, just in the world of my world, as far as things that I'm attached to, I'm on the board at Habitat for Humanity of North Central Iowa. But I'm thrilled that we are sponsoring the new build this summer in Mason City. We had a groundbreaking back in May, and there's a lot of kind of groundwork and things that are happening, lining up some construction people and making sure the drawings and blueprints and everything they need are in place. But that building is going to get started here in the next weeks, probably sometime in July, hopefully. We never quite know how that's going. And we're concerned, like everybody that's building right now. The cost of building a house has gone up or is elevated right now. But we're confident that we'll be able to do that. We're going to have Melissa Schoenberg come in. She's the director of Habitat here in Mason City. Wonderful director, and she's going to actually come sometime. We're trying to find a date in July when she can come, maybe speak a little bit at worship, or maybe afterwards have a meeting and just share a little bit more about what it means to volunteer on a build. We need people of all abilities. If you don't want to swing a hammer or a screwdriver or anything like that, we still need people to help serve lunch or make lunches. And there's just lots and lots of ways to help volunteer that get these houses built that the families actually buy. As I wrote in the connections, when I joined, it was amazing to learn that those aren't free houses that are given away, but the families actually purchase them. And Habitat acts as the bank that gives them a low interest loan. It's just a great program. I love it, and I'm thrilled that we're being a part of that as part of our anniversary celebration, that we are giving a gift to the community. So I know there are some other things that we're giving gifts for. So I think, Dan, you know about that.
Yeah. So we're kind of hitting that point in the anniversary celebration. I think we've done some initial things to kick it off. The float band festival was fantastic to have an entry in the parade, and that group did such a wonderful job with getting that done. And we've been talking about some of the things this fall, October 31st being the culmination of the anniversary. We're going to do big worship that weekend to celebrate. We're doing the videos at the beginning of each month. And if people haven't seen those, we're focusing on our core values each month and doing a look back and kind of a look at what's now and what is to come through the lens of those core values. And so those are really neat. You can find those on Facebook and YouTube. But this month and next month are really where we're going to lean into the other aspect of our anniversary celebration, which is, as you said, Pastor Kevin, the special offerings that we've set a goal of trying to raise $15,000 toward these two projects, the Habitat build that you just described. And then the other one is a global mission project. And so what we have focused on for that half of the $15,000 commitment and our time leading up to the anniversary is a project in the country of Chile through ELCA World Hunger and Disaster called EPES. And EPES is an acronym for a Spanish phrase that I will not try to say yet because I haven't had a chance to practice it yet. But it's basically a hunger and health assistance program that's been around for a long time, actually, in Chile through ELCA World Hunger. And one of the cool things that's happened the last couple of months is we've started to lift that project up as we have found a number of very close ties to that program. Colleen Last, who is a member here at Trinity, she and her husband, Michael, when he was bishop in Western Iowa, traveled to Chile, and they actually toured some of the sites. This is years ago, toured some of the sites where the EPES program is going on. So they're intimately familiar with this project. And Marcy Colvin, our retired youth director, has a connection through her home church and family in Owatonna to someone that has been a part of the EPES leadership for years and years. And so we're working on trying to nurture some of those relationships to help our congregation better understand what this project's about. And we're also going to invite in July 24th and 25th, we're going to invite Dan Rift, who's the president and CEO of ELCA World Hunger and Disaster Relief, to come and be with us that weekend in worship to talk about in worship what this project is all about, and possibly have some other times where members that are interested can interact with him and really dig into the details of this cool project. So lots of stuff there to learn, but again, I think it fits so well, both of these, Habitat and the World Hunger Project, they fit so well with who Trinity is and who we want to be into the future. And what a great way to celebrate an anniversary. But as you said, Kevin, so well, to give ourselves away in service to our neighbors near and far away. So.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I'm so excited about all of these projects. I mean, it fits with the 150th anniversary and those ideas about for generations to come and moving forward. But I also think it fits with this last year and how we have been so aware of how it is the Holy Spirit unites us as one in ways that we never imagined, right? Beyond our walls and reaching out in new ways. And that, yeah, here we are, Trinity Lutheran Church in Mason City, and yet, the connections from the outside in and us out there just continue to be amazing, and the Spirit continues to move and move us forward in unexpected ways, shall we say. And I guess that's where we are as a church. But quite honestly, for those who haven't heard and haven't been keeping up, it's also what's been happening in our synod. On Saturday, we had the Synod Assembly meeting, and it started at 8 o'clock in the morning, virtually, with a Zoom meeting and electronic voting. And the big portion of that gathering was about electing a new bishop, the first time since 1992. And, we've been so blessed as a synod with the leadership of Bishop Olstead, and then even the interim bishop, Bishop Andrea de Groot Nesdal. But the exciting news that we have to share is that the Holy Spirit was definitely at work at that meeting and has been, I would say, for a couple of years, but that's a bigger story, working at how this was going to go. And so I, a cup of gratitude and oofda. Am just so honored to announce that the new bishop of the Northeastern Iowa Synod is our own Pastor Kevin Jones. And yeah, that, this is new news to all of us in some ways. Haven't had a lot of time to process it, so I'm not sure if there are words that can articulately say how I'm feeling about all of this, other than to say, oh my gosh, I am thrilled for you, Kevin. I'm thrilled for the church and the synod and the congregation and the people, and I am heartbroken for us. But as I have learned over and over again in this last year, some of these things are not all about me. Some of these things are about what God is doing in the church. And so, you know, I don't need to talk anymore. I think we better let Bishop-elect Kevin Jones speak.
I like that idea, but it's not all about me. Although some days it does feel like that. Yeah, it is really still early kind of in this. I'm still processing kind of all of the events that happened on Saturday, processing kind of what's going to happen. The kind of the official first day of taking office is September 1st. So we've got some months ahead, which I'll be learning about being the bishop. And I'm sure that will continue for 6 years, learning how to be the bishop. Yeah, no, thrilled, very thankful for the people at Trinity, our assembly delegates who like literally were on Zoom for 12 hours on Saturday on one of the most beautiful days of the summer so far. I kept kind of, you know, wistfully looking out the window and thinking, oh, that looks so nice. And really for all the people across Northeast Iowa, all the churches, pastors, lay delegates that were there. It was a powerful day. It was a difficult day at times. It was a surprising day. I mean, you know, we had talked a little bit about the possibility. A few people had asked if they could turn in my name as a potential candidate, and I felt that God was calling me to be in the process, that I needed to be part of the election. And all day long, that's what I felt like, that God just wanted me to be in the process. But those of you who know the process, or if you watch the Synod Assembly for the votes, the way it works is you get a slate of people nominated on the first ballot, and then you get about an hour, I think, to take your name off if you don't feel called to be the bishop. And then you commit, if you don't take your name off the ballot, then you're committed to stay in until basically you don't get enough votes to stay in. They shrink the pool every time. I'll be honest, I thought that somewhere along the line, I would have gotten voted off the island, so to speak. Although it's not a voting off, it's a voting forward. But I was pretty sure. And then it started getting real on that fifth ballot when it was me and Pastor Stacy Nalene Carlson. I don't think it became real until they announced the results, and all of a sudden the gravity of that situation like punched me in the gut. It was a powerful day. I'm honored, rather humbled by the whole thing, and the kind of the task that's there. It does not feel like a step up. You know, in the church world, you know, we tend to equate that with the corporate world, and that's the next level. This does not feel like a step up. This really feels like a step over into just a very different ministry, where you're caring for a whole synod, more than just a congregation or a parish. It's really a step into deeper service in a different way. And that's what it feels like. So I am looking forward to seeing where that goes. There's some fear and trepidation in my heart, but also there's some calm and trust that if the Spirit and God are going to call me to this ministry, they're going to not only give me the gifts, but also lift up the people around me to be a support, to be working within the Synod, not just in the Synod office, but all around the Synod. It's such a partnership in ministry across Northeast Iowa. So I'm excited for it, but it's still new. I'm just making some of those phone calls to start scheduling conversations and talks about what needs to happen in the next couple months. It looks like a busy summer for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a
Well,
little.
I think, we obviously over the last 7 years at Trinity have had a chance to see your gifts as a pastoral leader. So many gifts in so many ways. And so I think while it all, bishops' elections always happen so quickly, right? I mean, we were talking about this earlier this morning, that the one thing about them is you go into the day not having any idea what's going to happen. And by the end of the day, your life can be completely upended. It is such a incredibly biblical thing in some ways, because this is how we read about it happening to prophets and stuff, right? But I do think we've had the chance to see your gifts for ministry here at Trinity. And so it's, though it happened quickly, I don't think it's totally shocking to us. And I'm excited for the rest of our synod and the larger church now to get to see those gifts too. And we just, I don't want to speak for Kathy, but I think we just want to celebrate and support you in this transition and partner with you as we partner with the larger church, because that's certainly, I think, a part of our plans as we look at Trinity's future, and to have that connection with you is going to be really wonderful. And I thought it was neat that we had the chance on Sunday morning to gather around you as a church and Amy, and to pray with you and to bless you. And so I think that's a big part of our role as a congregation in the larger picture, is to—
You're going to get to do that again.
Yeah, well, that's the other neat thing. I was going to say, obviously, this transition brings a lot of questions. Like, I mean, you've talked about some of them. The when and what does the transition look like, and what's going to happen with the ministries that you are leading, and those are all really important questions. And obviously, we've started working on those already, and we'll be sharing more with our congregation about that as things unfold. But to know that you will be here for part of that, and then to know the one thing we do know is that we get to be a part of your installation, and that was determined a long time ago. Over a year ago, Trinity had been selected to be the site for the bishop's installation, and that Bishop Elizabeth Eaton, the presiding bishop of the ELCA, will be here to preside and I think to preach for that, and to be able to host that now is really special. And like I said on Sunday morning, it's going to be a party here, and to have so many of our own people that know you so well be a part of that, hopefully will be really, really special. It's a great honor for us.
Yeah. Well, I'm thrilled that it's here. I really am. I'm excited that, it kind of gets to be my home church, which is almost never happens, I think. And I caught myself last night in speaking to the assembly. A month or so ago, Dan, you had asked if we'd be interested in being on the committee to help plan the worship service, and I said, yeah, sure, I'd be happy to do that. Not thinking that, it would be a service of my installation at all. And we had talked about the possible role, and I was like, my favorite role is kind of stage manager, is just running around in the background, making sure people are in the right place at the right time and ready to go. And I was like, that would be a really nice day for me, is just to be in the background, making sure things go well for the new bishop and for, everybody, all the guests that are here. And now all of a sudden I'm like, oh, now I've got to be up front. I get to be up front.
It might be a little harder to hide in the background.
Yeah. But that's again the surprising part of it, is just what does that mean, and what does it look like, and where is it going to go? But to have that here is it's an honor. I'm looking forward to it. I know there'll be a lot of guests here, but there's also going to be a live stream So, you know, if you don't want to look hard for parking or sit snugly with other people in the sanctuary, you know, it'll be shown online through the Synod's Facebook page and other options. So, yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of people be able to access and be a part of it that day.
Yeah. Did we say the date? Did I say the date? September 25th, Saturday, September 25th, 2 p.m. is when that's happening. So yeah, it's going to be great worship, I think. And again, a real honor and joy in a lot of ways now to be able to be part of that. So,
yeah.
It's an honor, it's a joy, and it's a little bittersweet. I mean, I'm going to be real honest. I mean, I'm one of those people that put your name down on the first ballot, and I've been after you for a long time. As we say, you know, passively, aggressively teasing you for some time about this. And as much as I just really felt like for some reason, this is what the Holy Spirit was calling us to, and perhaps calling you to, there was a part of me that said, but nah, it's really not going to happen. You know, there's all these other reasons for why it wasn't going to happen. And all day on Saturday was like, oh, right. You really are Holy Spirit here. And this really is a process where you just blow right on through and make things happen when we don't see it coming. And so, and by, quite honestly, by the fourth ballot, I quit texting you and I started texting Amy because you've had more time to think about this, I think, than Amy has. But we just want to embrace all of you, and we know that this is not, you know, you're not perfect, and you won't be perfect in this job, but I do sincerely believe that you are the right person at the right time for the church, for the congregations of our synod, but even for the broader church. And so couldn't be more honored to have, you know, sat office to office with both of you, and shared in ministry. So just excited for that partnership really to continue, because it is, and it will be. So
Thanks. Thank you. I had two thoughts on Sunday morning, kind of walking through the church and seeing, you know, how all the construction's completed. And I remembered, I've kind of teased about when I came and interviewed 7 years ago, you were doing the tuck pointing on the east side of the building, and I had to come underneath the scaffolding. And every summer that I've been here, we've had construction. There's been jackhammers and trucks and a whole number of things. And I finally was like, oh, this is kind of nice. We're going to get to settle into this new place and enjoy it. And there's not going to be any construction. And now I'm not going to be here. So I just was here for the construction season, which is a little weird. But the other thought I had was the odds of you getting the bishop of the Northeast Iowa Synod to talk and to be present at the 150th anniversary probably went up a little bit yesterday.
Hey.
It was already on my calendar. Now I can't promise anything because the Synod ends up scheduling some stuff, and the wider church does too. I hope to be here for that. I really do, to have that. Now that's going to be the party.
Can we get that signed? And
it's in my calendar, but like any pastor, I think it's even more so with the bishop that my calendar is probably not my own completely. So, well, I'll do my best. I'll fight for that day.
It was our, we were going to try to make that phone call to the new bishop this week, knowing that we were waiting for that. Now, I could just walk down the hall, which was good.
Yes.
So that was good.
Oh, well, I think this edition of Coffee with the Pastors has kind of lived up to its tradition, shall we say, of giving folks the inside scoop and having an opportunity to hear us as pastors talk about some things that are happening at the Trinity. And we know that there are not a lot of answers right now, but probably more questions. But as always, we welcome people into the conversation of what this all means for us as a church and as people of God. And so unless there are any final words, I just want to thank everybody for being with us, and stay tuned because there's more to come.
Well said.